Memories with Superstars
マーバー・キング。彼女はスティービー・ワンダー、マイケル・ジャクソン、ジャネット・ジャクソン、そしてプリンスの全員と共演したミュージシャンです。レジェンドたちと仕事をするのはどんな感じなのか、そして彼らの人となりは、誰もが気になる舞台裏を語っていただきたいと思います。この特別出演は死なない魂出版を記念して、著者の二重作拓也さんの友人であるマーバキングが協力してくれて実現しました。パーティーマインドチャンネルとのコラボレーション企画として発表させていただきます。今回は3つあるうちの第2弾になります。
I started in this industry with Stevie Wonder. He gave me my first professional star-studded job. I was so happy. I was still in my teens and I wanted the job so bad. He wasn't going to hire me because they misunderstood my age. I looked like a baby and he said, "Oh no, I heard you look too young. You might be a runaway or something." No, he didn't say runaway, but he's like, "I think you're probably too young." And I begged him. I walked him out to the car and I tried to persuade him, and I guess it worked because he kept saying, I don't know. The next morning I got a job. What an amazing man. He's still one of my really, really good friends, probably my closest celebrity, like mega celebrity friend. I love Stevie to life. We still talk, we still debate, we still do music together, we still laugh like crazy, like crazy. Such a love. I actually met Prince at one of Stevie's birthday parties. So, yeah, that's my dog there. We both are Michigan people. Part of the reason I got hired, besides him liking my voice, he also knew I was from Michigan. Once he found that out, he's like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I was brand spanking new to California. So that really, really worked in my favor. After he'd auditioned, I'd heard for 2 years he'd been auditioning girls. So I was very, very fortunate and blessed to be considered by Mr. Stevie Wonder, Stevie Lynn Morris, to be exact. But yeah, what an amazing guy. Was a brilliant genius who just got listed as the greatest artist in R&B music by Billboard magazine several months ago, this year, 2025. So I was so proud of him. I told him, I said, you don't deserve that. All these great artists out here. Teased him. He didn't even flinch. I said, okay, Mr. Genius. But yeah, he's an amazing guy. And I love him dearly. He's a big heart, and we already know his talent and everything, and God blessed us to keep him on the planet. He's still here. So anyway, love Stevie. I worked with Janet Jackson on her first album. She was on A&M Records, and I was called as a session worker on her project, and I can't even recall the song. The record didn't do that great, but it gave her a start and introduced the world to her as a singer because she'd been acting. So that was great. I had no idea I would end up getting to know her brothers so well, particularly Michael. I spent more time around Michael probably than everybody, but I got to know Jermaine very well, worked on some of his music, Let's Get Serious with Stevie Wonder. That was my first professional recording in the studio because Stevie actually recorded him before any of his music for me as a backup vocalist. And yeah, so I got to know all of them well. Marlon went in the studio with him and worked on projects in New York and Los Angeles. Jackie, Tito, I've gone in the studio with them. They all had their own studios. And of course, then I had the pleasure of going in the studio with Michael, hanging out with him many times, but also to recording with him. And then there was Mr. Michael Jackson. Woo. Michael was an amazing person. I met him in a studio and I was introduced to him and I freaked out because that was my childhood idol. I was like, whoa, I'm really in front of Michael. I said I would be in front of him. I said this when I was like 10 years old, and here I was, and I froze. But I got to know him very well. Very kind soul, kind spirit, love people. Probably too much, and that's how some other people were able to use the negative against him, because they knew his weakness. His weakness was he loved people, and he put a lot of trust in too many people that were not there for the love. They were there for the gain, and that's it. And anything that interfered with that, they weren't having it. So there were a lot of conspiracies. There were a lot of missiles launched on him while he was alive, and he really had a serious broken heart before he left here, because Michael wouldn't hurt a flea or a fly. And I mean, it's good now that people are come forward. They've come forward and said it was a lie. I was manipulated for money. The first accuser, I didn't know until recently that his father actually committed suicide months after they received the money, and created such a controversy that was false. He couldn't live with himself, and he killed himself. A lot of families were torn apart over this, because the kids grew up and realized they had been manipulated, and they didn't want to get their parents in trouble, because, you know, no matter what, they may still love them. They didn't like them. There's a lot of stories behind that. That's for another day. But Michael was a very wonderful man, very talented, very gifted. Another angel on earth. There's some people I feel like that about. I'm so blessed and fortunate to have worked with some of the biggest angels on earth in our industry, in our time. You know, I'm sure there's others, but I got to know Stevie very well. I got to know Michael very well. I got to know Prince very well. Those are angels on earth, all of them. And they came here, and 2 of them are gone. I'm thanking God I still have Stevie. I miss Michael so much. I'm sure his family misses him more, but I miss him. I miss his presence. I miss all of his shenanigans, all of his nonstop creative modes that he would go in, all the musical thoughts and ideas, and how he would capture them. And my God, it was quite extensive too. Very extensive. Yeah, but you know, he was a creator. He wasn't just a singer, wasn't just a dancer, wasn't just a brilliant businessman that everybody learned about later. Everybody learned about how brilliant of a businessman he was after he was no longer here. Those of us that were closer to him, we knew. I didn't know he was as great as he was, though, even because it's not like he discussed his business with most. He just executed and talked to whoever he felt applied to whatever deal he was doing. Again, it's such an honor to have worked with him, to have his friendship. Even though he got me in a lot of trouble many times, I still loved him, and I still miss him dearly. But we still have that beautiful and wonderful music that I sometimes do in my shows to honor him and reminisce about Michael Jackson. All right. Prince Rogers Nelson. He was called the artist when I started working with him. He was the last that I worked with as a backup singer. He featured me a lot of times, allowed me to play at percussions. I still had fun doing it, and I'm pretty rhythmic. So yeah, I got soul, not just my fro. I got soul. Yeah, I can keep a beat, honey, and I can do it real fast, or I can do it real slow. So don't take that wrong now. But yeah, I could beat on a tambourine or some cowbells, and you know, some timbales. I could beat on some timbales, conga a little bit. But yeah, he gave me the opportunity to express myself rhythmically and vocally, of course, and dancing and everything. He said, I don't just hire singers. I said, all right, well, let's see what we can do. He's like, I'm going to tell you what to do. And I did. Yeah, I had fun doing it too. So I also had my fun pranking him quite a few times on stage. Oh my God, I used to get him. And I was told several times by the band members, they said, "You're going to get fired." I said, "No, I won't." And I said, he likes a good joke. And he appreciates anybody that wasn't afraid to challenge him and test him with jokes and shenanigans and pranks and stuff. Oh my God, I got stories. I could write a book about my pranking people and how I've been pranked too by some of the artists. Oh my goodness. What a time, life we live, we have fun. But Prince, of course, is amazing. One of the most amazing artists that ever came on planet Earth. And at least in our times that we know of, because we don't know what was going on thousands of years ago, do we? We have no idea. We just think because it wasn't documented. But anyway, yeah, Prince, amazing guitar player, keyboard player, drummer, bass player. Oh my God, just on and on and on. He's just an amazing man and just an amazing person, very profound, very loving too. Very loving, and he was a humble servant. When he wasn't on stage, when he's around people that he knows and that he loves, oh my God, he was the most kind, humble. I was really taken aback when I saw how he was outside of rehearsal and this whole entertainment life. He enjoyed serving people and being kind and literally waiting on them. He was a humble servant and he was a philanthropist. He helped so many people. And I learned how many things he did and even how many great things he even said about me after I died. I cried like a baby. I cried because he never told me some of the things as much as we talked, because we had a lot of one-on-one time, and I thank God for that. We used to talk about a lot of things, his childhood, my childhood, music, and just a lot of stuff. We talked about a lot of things, the world, America, so much. But, and no, we never dated. So many rumors that went around. We never dated. I didn't want to date him. I just loved him as a person. And that's what I told him. I said, I love you for you. And he really realized that. And he really respected me and loved me for that. So, I'm just so blessed to have worked with Prince and get to know him and got to know him as much as I did. And I knew quite a bit about him before I left. Some things I'll take to the grave, some things I may share with people, and some I have shared already. But again, my life has been pretty illustrious in this crazy industry. I've had my solo career. It's a lot that have gone on, and I had my reasons for not continuing with a lot of the deals that would have made me a superstar. It's okay, I'm fine with it. I supported those that are superstars, and I'm still doing it. So I'm honored that I'm in great health, and yeah, life is still lifing. Loving it. All right. God bless all of you, and yeah, Taki, keep doing these documentaries and putting all of your efforts into making sure that the world know who these people are and know other sides and getting information about them, because it's all good, history being made while we're doing this. All right, much love. All right.
スーパースターたちとの思い出いかがでしたか？メディアのフィルターを通さないパーソナルな体験談はグッとくるものがありましたね。さて今回は死なない魂出版記念ということで、本の感想についても最後に言及したいと思います。個人的に刺さったのはハッピーフィートのくだりですね。映画にキスの提供を依頼された時に最初は断ったプリンスだったんですけれども、彼のために開かれた試写会で映画を見たプリンスはコロッと一点 OK を出しただけでなく、映画のために新曲まで作りました。歌えないペンギンがダンスで認められていく同映画に向けたメッセージ。間違えても構わない、ずれてても笑われても踊ればいい、僕は僕をやるという全力の自己肯定ですね。あまり取り上げられないんですけれど、プリンスの優しさと彼のポリシーを示す大好きなエピソードです。人それぞれ刺さる内容は違うと思いますので、 皆さんぜひ刺さるコンテンツ探してみてください。